Hey guys, just I'm speaking directly to the audience here. Just so you know, on this film, we're talking about a new movie. It's out in release right now, and there are absolutely going to be spoilers. So if you're super interested in watching this without having anything spoiled for you, go ahead and watch it. Come back. YouTube is always there for you.
No, dude, I just want to say one thing. I was so happy to see that movie. It was so good. I was like, it was just impressive. It moved really well, had great dynamics, it had interesting character development. The sci-fi thing was done, but not overdone.
You're talking about Tickled?
No, we're not talking about Tickled, although we should talk about Tickled. No, we're talking about Possessor. I was just impressed by it at the end. It just was really well done. So that's it. That's a big thumbs up for me. So move on to somebody else.
I found it exceptionally boring.
Okay.
I literally was at certain points when I was watching it, I wasn't like drifting off to sleep, but I started like picking up my phone and like, oh, maybe what's going on?
I think it's a lot of things, but I didn't think it was boring.
I found it extremely boring. I think it's funny because like I think a lot of it is really well made, but I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about the story. I felt like I've seen this story before a number of times, so maybe I felt with where the beats were coming in it, and then the over the top violence of it is just kind of like, cool, you stabbed that guy a bunch. Oh, Sean Bean's getting his teeth ripped out. Awesome. But I could also stare at this bloody napkin that I have here from the nosebleed I had a minute ago, and like that would be as interesting to me as a lot of those murders. And like the thing I'll give them credit for is it definitely looked like they used a bunch of practical effects, which I thought was
practical.
Neat. Yeah,
really?
like
100%.
like that.
I would say that I hear you, Tad, but maybe I'm alone in this, but I think it's been a while since I've seen like a straight up gruesome film, or just one with some real gore. It just feels like that. Maybe I've not been watching the right.
No, it's one of the bloodiest films I've seen in like months and maybe a couple of years.
But in
I
a
just
good,
wasn't
but in a
going
good
A
way.
lot of Karo syrup and food coloring.
Yeah, but like in a good way. It was like I didn't really realize that I was yearning for some good old fashioned, bloody gore. And this movie kind of fixed that itch, scratched that itch.
Yeah, I wish I hated this movie. Like I think I'd be much more like excited.
You're kind of indifferent to it.
Right. I'd be much more excited to talk about this if I hated it, but I don't. I'm completely like almost have no opinion about it at all, except that I think it was boring. Like and there were parts during it where I both wanted to like it and wanted to hate it, and I just couldn't bring myself to feel much of anything about it. Ironically, making me a lot like the main character.
Yeah, well, I think that the thing about the main character is that I was just sold by her look. Like there's something about her eyes and her hair and you're just, I don't know, I was just on board because she's so unique.
She looks
Andrea Riseborough.
Yeah, she was great in Mandy as well.
No,
I didn't see that, but I saw her in Battle of the Sexes, and she was really appealing, and she looked so strong.
No, she looked like a tired, middle manager.
Oblivion.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Oh, right, Oblivion.
There's something in
the woman who played Ava is she was in Mank.
That's right.
But there's something intrinsically
right?
There's something intrinsically creepy about this lead in this film by the way that she looks, like the whatever her makeup and her hair and her costuming, like there's something intrinsically off and creepy and kind of even par for the course for like a good sci-fi with her look.
She looked like a tired middle manager of a large corporation. She was just like this specialist. She'd probably burned out on work and she didn't really want to do any of this stuff anymore. And she conveyed that really well.
Right. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It did, like Tad said, feel familiar, especially if you're a fan of the science fiction genre. You've probably seen things like this. I thought of
I've played this video game. Like it's
right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
no, you thought of Upgrade, didn't you?
I thought of Upgrade. I
Uh-huh.
thought of Travelers on Netflix.
Yeah.
I
Where
thought
they're
of his
transmitting these
father's
agents
film,
into these dead
Croneneberg.
people's bodies.
Mhm.
I thought of Total Recall, especially in that scene about halfway through when he's hiding out in the girl's apartment and the guy shows up, the friend from work, and it turns out he works for the company. And he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm here to help you." It
Yeah.
was just like the doctor showing up on Mars to help Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
What a
I know,
great-
pretty much. Not me. I'm
Uh,
sticking
I'm-
with the gin martini.
I'm starting with the
Yeah.
whiskey.
Wine.
There he is. But no, I
So
thought that
go ahead, Scott.
I thought I just ran down the science fiction particulars really well.
You know what else it
and
made
we-
me think of was, do you ever read The Second Trip by Robert Spielberg?
I don't think I have.
They wipe a guy's they get a convicted like a psycho murderer, and they wipe his personality and give him a new personality, and the old one starts to bleed through. So this is kind of a Jekyll Hyde story, just like that.
Now,
It's like
mind
a
you,
techno Jekyll Hyde.
there's something a bit cynical about this big corporation that has this ability to do this, jack into people's heads, and all they do is murder people. You know
Is
what
it
I
a
mean?
big?
It's-
Is it a big corporation? Like that's kind of my question. Like, because
I thought it was academia.
yeah, part of this to me felt like it was like a garage almost, and like these are the only people who can do this. You know,
Well, no, they're international
At the
level.
end, at the end, they're literally in a van.
No,
Yeah.
there are meetings. There's international flight involved. You know, there's reports, and you get.
But it does raise a really kind of important question if you're talking about plausibility, and it's the same thing you could think of for a lot of science fiction movies, where it's like, if this technology existed, why would this be the only way that it was being used and no one else would know about it? Think of like the robots in Westworld. It's like, how come there aren't robots everywhere if they can do this?
Yeah.
Can we mention though? I think one thing that I felt really striking about the film was Christopher Abbott's performance, just overall.
Oh, dude,
he's the boyfriend.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
did a remarkable job.
Just I thought off the charts. Like I've seen him in different things, Girls, and a bunch of indie films.
Right.
Good. It Comes at Night is a great one. But this was his, I think, his finest work that I've seen on camera. Like he really just, it was nuanced. It was passionate. It was like, it was in the moment. It was present. It was so, he was really swinging for the fences in a good way. I think he was hitting home runs, you know?
I think if you're going to make a story like this with a script like this, you have to have good actors. Because I was thinking when Jennifer Jason Leigh was doing some of her lines in the lab scenes and stuff, it was like, man, if she wasn't such a good actress, this could be really bad. But it wasn't.
Right.
She held it.
You're right, John. Like I think, and Jennifer Jason Leigh is that actress. She's always been good. She's consistently good, and you're right. She's saying these kind of almost, I don't want to say cliche, but yeah, these sort of like things that sci-fi writers think sounds right or something. But she's selling them because she's so good. She's just she has a way about her.
She's good, but she's also a director's actor. I remember her in Hateful Eight, and I kept waiting for people to kill her in that thing because I was so tired.
Well, she won the Academy Award for that. Or was
I know. Hey, it doesn't mean I didn't want her dead like much earlier than she died. I appreciate the whole Academy Award thing.
You may want her dead. That's valid. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That might be the clip.
Okay.
Well, we're
an Academy Award. That didn't mean I didn't want her dead.
Well, first of all, I know Jim is always, biding his time, and then he's gonna unleash fury.
Jim,
on
you
us
go.
all.
He's gonna shock us with his
But
views on
I'm
it.
gonna go last. Jim, go
All right.
next.
Go ahead, take it away,
Unleash
Jim.
hell.
I'm next, or Chris?
Yeah,
is next?
take
No,
it.
you go.
Take it, Jim.
Yeah, I was not. I thought it was like, a B flick or a C flick. Do they go to Z?
We do actually.
I mean, yeah. I kept thinking of like Dead Ringers and some of his Videodrome, even some of his dad's better, funnier flicks.
His earlier, funnier
This
pictures.
is certainly not funny. Yeah.
You're saying the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree?
He had definitely picked up on his dad's style without any content.
Wow.
Well, while we were on the subject of praising a bunch of actors, can I take a second to say that I really felt like Sean Bean was phoning it all the way in this movie? Like it
Who's
just
Sean Bean in this?
he's the dad.
He's the rich. He's the guy that owns.
He's the guy who gets killed
Luke.
with the poker, except he doesn't get killed. He survives
He
because
survives
does
because
that.
he's a mean entrepreneur.
No,
Yeah.
they were sucking the day player crack pipe with him.
Oh my god, he was just zombie mode the entire time.
I mean, I don't think Sean Bean is a striking enough actor to know when he's phoning it in or not.
Oh, I
Like,
think I've probably seen more Sean Bean stuff than you have because
Probably, but I've seen a lot of Sean Bean. Like I go back to, I'm a big fan of like Patriot Games and shit. Like he's always been good, but it's also like, yeah, if he came in for 2 days, he's playing a rich asshole.
Yeah,
but he's on.
How are you not going to do it that way?
But
Yeah,
he's in
exactly.
Ronin. He's in Ronin for 2 days on that set, and he
Ronin
makes a
was
huge
amazing.
and he makes a huge impact in that because he's not phoning it in. He's doing a great job of being a slimy shithead.
Mhm.
And in this, he just feels like ironically, like a lot of this, he feels like a vessel for things to happen to. Like it's not. Again, that might be part of my problem. Is I didn't feel like there was
maybe that's script. You know.
No,
well,
also,
but I didn't feel like there was any stakes here. I didn't care that he was going to die. I didn't care that the daughter was going to die. They didn't make me care about those characters.
I
They
think
certainly didn't make me care about her husband and son. They didn't make me care.
not so much, but I think Chris Abbott is the one that brings this whole thing to
me
another
too.
level.
It circles
Yeah,
around him,
I'll disagree with that, Tad, because when we inevitably got back to the shot that we have behind Chris here, when we knew it's like he's gonna go back to the house, she's gonna go back to her house,
right.
and we were like saying, don't go to the house, don't go to the house, cut to the house. So maybe it was a plot point that you saw coming, but I did feel something because it was like, oh shit.
And I did feel, spoiler alert, I did feel something when she shot the kid because I didn't realize what was going on 100%.
This is
spoiler.
And that's a major spoiler, but it shocked me. I mean, it rocked me a little bit, you know.
You know, weird thing is, I didn't see it coming. It actually got ahead of me, which is great.
Oh,
I did not. I thought it would just be like an uncomfortable situation, ended up being this whole like basically a trap, which is great. I mean, I love stuff like that.
But then they don't
we're
pay
done.
it off.
Hold on, Are we done with Jim? Hold on.
Oh, wait. Let's let Chris go.
Okay, well, I want to hear.
Jim, were you
finish?
done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm finished.
I was finished sometime around 2 this afternoon.
Now that scene you guys talked about, that was when this movie went from being merely totally fucking awesome to probably the best thing I've seen all year.
Whoa! Yeah.
Let me start by saying maybe my favorite filmmaker of all time is David Cronenberg.
Yes.
His run from Shivers through, I just wrote them down like all like the ones I fucking love. It's all but like 3: Shivers, Rabid, Brutes, Scanners, Videodrome, Dead Zone, Fly, Dead Ringers, Naked Lunch, Crash, History of Violence, Eastern Promises, Maps to the Stars, which you guys haven't seen, is fucking great. Existence is mostly good. Like,
love that.
I love
Existence is great.
I love David Cronenberg movies, and he doesn't make movies like this anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Not in a long time.
He's old now. He doesn't do that.
Right. I mean, his last thing was Maps to the Stars, which I almost made my second pick this week. But I fucking loved this movie. I loved how fucked up it was. It is relentlessly fucked up and antisocial and cold and icy and oblique
and it's
moody. And I loved every fucking second of this movie.
But what's hold on. Well, I want a serious question. What's interesting about that?
All of it.
Because like you could just read the newspaper and see all of that shit, you know, like that's just the world. Like
we can all agree.
Like but what's interesting about any of this? Like I don't.
For one, the visual style is
quite
impressive.
Sure, it's well shot, but like,
but it's also well, like at first I was like, oh, it's like cheap montage, but it's actually pretty effective. Like the sound design and the montage editing, after a while becomes sort of like the shtick. It works. Like at first I was like, oh, this is too easy to just cut. and like smack, like do like a music video.
But it's cutting to good things.
No,
Exactly. After like the third time, I was like, oh no, this works. It's putting me like in a trance.
no,
And then when she got to the part with the mask, it was like,
No,
whoa.
Oh God!
I'm going
First
to
of all,
congo.
let's put a pin in that, John, because I want to talk about that.
No, I want to conga line behind Chris and say this was actually the most intriguing film I've seen this year. It kept my attention beginning to end. I thought the story was
I've
very well
already
written.
ordered the 4K.
No, good for you. But I thought the story was really compelling. I think it's unlike Baccarat or like She Dies Tomorrow or any other crap that came out this year. Yeah. It held my attention beginning to end and surprised me at least 3 times. And that's all I asked.
Can we? First of all, I'm glad you guys liked it. I think some of you liked it more than I did, which is great. Because I didn't. I mean, I'm not like that. Where I thought it was. I like this film, but I'm really glad that you guys, some of you, really liked it.
I really liked it.
But John just brought up something that I would love to hear something from all of you about, which is because I mean, obviously the coup de grace or whatever, the zenith. My favorite part of the film is that that mask thing, dude. Like when
that montage
her face when it's on in mask form.
It's a movie poster,
and he's fucking wearing it.
Yeah,
that brought the whole film to like next level. Like it was insane. And then that whole sequence of her being in those different places wearing, like, that was when I really was like, okay,
her kid's bedroom.
Yeah. Oh God. Like I was like, okay, this is a good film. This is now going to a next level sort of. Like you felt like what Chris is saying. You felt like a director who has a vision has arrived.
I gotta go see his other movie now. I guess he only made one other movie in 2012.
Yeah, this is only his second film.
Yeah.
But
8 years.
I just loved, even if the whole thing, you could feel like the whole thing is banal. That's worth the price of admission alone. That whole sort of exploration.
I'm going to say I don't think that this is like just a total ripoff of all of his dad's tricks.
No, that's true, and that's actually worthy discussion as well. Because this is such a pastiche, and it is a pastiche of every Cronenberg movie.
Okay,
yeah,
that's a good word.
Does it have intrinsic value?
It'd be a way better movie if his dad had directed it.
Most of the bands that I like that have come out in the last 10 years I like them because they remind me of the shit I liked in 1980.
There you go.
Yeah, we're all getting old, Chris.
I'm literally allergic to nostalgia, so I can't participate in that.
I see that that's the case.
I'm in love with nostalgia. I'm nostalgic for shit that happened yesterday.
Same here.
So
I didn't take it from that perspective. I mean, I got that it was reminiscent of his dad's film.
No,
but I felt like it was more straight ahead in some way. It was more like this is a science fiction story with horror aspects for sure.
It's just Videodrome basically.
Cronenberg's sweet spot was for 10 years.
Right.
Body horror.
But I still feel like
literally body horror.
That was his thing, man.
Maybe
Canadian body horror.
Like maybe his son doesn't have as strong a voice, even close to what David has yet.
But keep in mind, this is his
but I think he's on the right track. I think he's carving out his own, though. It feels like
David. Brandon really kind of like he kind of made a mark here, which is good, and it's gonna be similar to his father, but that's okay. I think
Cronenberg's second.
The violence, like
Chris, what's Cronenberg's second film?
Go watch some Cronenberg movies because everyone.
I think it was Rabid, wasn't it? That was the second.
I think it's Rabid.
Rabid is second movie.
We're at that point in Brandon's career. This is an early work. So
Rabid was crazy.
I think it shows a lot of promise.
Honestly, Rabid makes me sick to my stomach.
I know Rabid was an insane film, and you talk about conveying the chill of being in Montreal in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't warm up after that movie was over. It was just nuts.
My favorite review of The Brood was Leonard Maltin. It was like midgets club lovely young school teachers to death with mallets. It's a great big wide wonderful world we live in. The one that
got me on board was Scanners, because I thought Scanners just blew my mind. It was so good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I started with
I think I was yearning for some good old gore, and this gave it to me.
Oh, it did. Well done. Good pick, man.
Yeah,
Dead Zone is far and away. Dead Zone's far and away my favorite Cronenberg.
Now, what?
I love Dead Zone. I think Dead Zone is so amazing.
Okay, so what possessed you to pick this? I made a little joke there, but the name of the movie.
Where's
See
the
that?
sun?
Fuck you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm ending this call.
It was so little I couldn't see it.
I'm gone. Where's the off switch? Anyway,
This is- Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for the
Dick was
final
bigger
yelling
than
about
that.
movies.
I guess we're over now. That's
No,
I'm canceling Scott.
in all honesty, I was going to say thank you for asking, good sir, because the reason I picked both of these films, which we're going to talk about Kajillionaire next, is only because I hadn't seen either. I wanted to pick two films. I wanted to pick actually two old French films, but they're not available.
But we couldn't get to them.
yeah.
So my backup choice was I want to pick something that none of us had seen.
No, good idea.
So that
Good
I hadn't
impulse.
seen, and also ones that are at least in and around people that I admire, respect, or think are good. Like, Brandon, of course, being David's son, and then Miranda being as a fan of her first film. So we'll get to that, but I just wanted to do some stuff that we hadn't seen, and I'm sorry. I know it was so new, and that's weird, and so sorry for spoilers and people. But
we need to keep new stuff going. In fact, we could make an argument about doing only. But
there was nothing about genre or opinion in this. It was literally just like, hey, these are somewhere in and around people that we know in terms of artists, and they're brand new. So why don't we watch them because we haven't seen them?
Pick it. I would have picked it this week.
Sounds good.
Good pick. Good pick.
Good pick.